So, Capricorn, I see that this month, gosh, it's so interesting because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major arcana cards out of a 9-card spread. So, you have a lot going on in your external environment. A lot of things that you may feel are out of your control, which, can be hard for a Capricorn because you like to plan, you like to know what actions you're going to be taking, and you like to be in control of your environment, and you typically are. But a lot of stuff is happening that is pushing you in a more positive direction. And at this point in the game, you may not fully understand or appreciate the direction in which you're headed. But in the coming months, the beginning of 2017, you're going to say, wow, this is why it happened the way it did, or this is why I had to do what I had to do back in November, December, maybe even some parts of early January. Okay? Very interesting because we have the High Priestess and then we have the Hermit. And the Hermit is shining his light on the High Priestess. There's a strong message here that says you need to pay attention to your intuition. Also, I want to say your dreams may be very active at this time. So there needs to be a focus on that. There's something here about there's a want or a need to feel confident, to feel secure, to feel independent and capable. But there's also an emotional element going on here. It's like an undercurrent. There's a part of you, though, that's kind of driving out that emotional aspect because you're very focused this month on, look, I got to cut out what I need to cut out of my life. I need to be, like the word that comes to mind is hardcore, You're cutting ties where you need to cut ties. You are letting go of past emotional situations, but also physical relationships or people or circumstances that you need to just release yourself from. Because there's been this, it can be a toxic situation, a toxic kind of relationship or scenario where it's like, I've had enough of this. You've played with my emotions too long, and I need to release myself from it. And this can be with a water sign, so a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, that you may find yourself having issues with. Some of you may be getting help or assistance from a strong fire sign, a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. I'm feeling for some of you, this is talking about a separation or a divorce that has already happened, but there are still connections to this person because you have children in common. And this is a month where you're not allowing your ex-partner to emotionally control you anymore or play with your emotions or allow them to impact you in such a strong way that you just feel emotionally drained. It's interesting because in this 4 corners here, we have the High Priestess, the Hermit, the Lovers, and the Devil. And if we just look at these cards, You know, look at these two. We have the Lovers, which are two free people walking in the light of day with an angel blessing this union, blessing the potential here, blessing this opportunity. And then we have the Devil, which is binding, control. I'm sorry about that. We have the Devil here who is binding and controlling and keeping these people chained and bound. The interesting thing about the Devil card, though, is always, you know, as humans, we have free will, and we can choose to stay tethered to this unhealthy predicament or toxic situation or addiction even, or a codependency kind of issue. Or we can choose to be more like the Lovers card, where this man and woman have free will and they make the right decision based on what they know to be better for their higher selves. When we study the tarot, one of the things you learn about this card is this man here represents the Fool. And the tarot is really a story about this Fool who goes on a journey to discover the world, but ultimately discovers himself by discovering life and going through life situations. But basically, when the Fool comes to this point in the story, he meets this woman, he falls in love, and he spends time with this woman, and she tells him, stay with me, stay here with me, let's stay together forever. But the Fool knows that he set out and embarked on a journey, okay, and he hasn't completed his journey. There's still a path here that leads to this mountain, and ultimately he wants to know what's beyond this mountain, what's beyond the horizon. And so he has a choice to make. Either he stays with this person and he doesn't go any further in his life path or mission, or he continues on and finds ultimately what's meant for him, you know, his real soul purpose and mission in life. And in the story of the tarot, he chooses to continue down the path. Even though it's challenging to leave this woman behind, he knows this is the journey he needs to take. It's ultimately what's in his higher good and best interest, okay? Because staying in this situation, you know, it just stifles his growth, but also hers. And he loves her enough to say, I need to let you go for now. So this is about making the decision to untether yourself from what binds you this month. And that's really what you're doing as the Queen of Swords. You know, this woman, she has her sword raised and she's cutting ties. She's letting things go. She's releasing herself. And she's also someone that sets up healthy boundaries. She says, you know what? I've been taken advantage of too long. I've been hurt too often. I'm not going to allow this any further. And so if you want to deal with me, you're going to have to respect my boundaries. Her hand is open to say, I'm willing to receive if you're willing to give me what's worthy of my time, of my energy, and of myself. But she has her sword here to say, but she also has her sword here to say, I'm going to protect myself, you know? She's not going to put up with any BS. A lot of times people say that the Queen of Swords, she comes across as a very cold, distant kind of person, you know. She's not someone that's warm and friendly and welcoming. But I tend to like the Queen of Swords because she's someone that, you know what, she's strong, she's strong-willed, and she's not one to be taken advantage of or walked all over. You don't want to mess with the Queen of Swords. She'll cut you, you know. So that's what I'm seeing for you this month is a letting go and a releasing, because emotionally, with the Queen of Cups here next to the Devil card, you've been emotionally drained by somebody. And you're wanting some confidence. You're regaining your confidence this month, but you're also becoming more independent. And yes, it takes strength to make this decision. You see the strength card here? It takes strength to make this decision, but ultimately you're going to do it because it's the right thing to do. And you're leaving, I mean, we look at this devil card, it's so dark, right? But when you're strong enough and you leave a bad situation, you enter the sun, which the sun is about vitality. It's about joy, optimism, love, peace. It's like this child riding this horse. You know, he's naked, and all of this is symbolic of him being his true self, loving himself for who he is and as he is, and enjoying life under the sun. You see the sunflowers growing in the background. You know, this is about, again, vitality, health, youthfulness. So that's what you'll be coming into and entering as you cut ties that you need to cut. And it's a completion of a cycle. It's the ending of something so that something new can come in for you. You've graduated. You're now learned whatever valuable lessons you needed to learn out of this. But the first part of the month, we see the Hermit here with the High Priestess that's really shining a light on you being self-reflective and making those decisions for yourself where you need to cut ties or where you need to sever things in order to move on, okay? So, let me shuffle here with these, call them my clarifying cards. I want to look at the Devil card first, just to see if we can get more clarity on that. Oops. Yeah. So there's a situation here where either this is a romantic relationship and you're the sweetheart, or you're someone else's sweetheart, or this is a situation where you're very emotionally attached, which we see with the Queen of Cups here as well, okay? And this card represents kind of like fickle feelings or feeling agitation, okay, over a situation, and feeling melancholy or sad because you're trapped in a situation where you're not happy. I want to look at the Sun card next. Yeah. So the Sun card is, again, you know, another message with the Sun card is there's clarity being brought in on a situation. We went from darkness with the Devil to light with the Sun card. Some type of falseness or deception is coming to light and being brought to the surface so that you can deal with it. Maybe involving a lover. Maybe involving someone who you have a strong emotional connection or tie to. And this card is the wedding card, but it also talks about contracts, agreements, or negotiations. So whatever kind of contract, verbal or written, that you had with another person, you're seeing it for what it is. It's being brought to light, and you're dealing with it as you need to. Okay? So that's what I have for the general message. I'm going to now go into the reading for singles. Sorry, I have a toddler playing with blocks, So if you hear banging in the background, that's what that is. Okay, we have the World card, the Nine of Pentacles, the Hermit. My goodness, didn't I have these in the last spread? The Devil again, and I did shuffle, people. The Ace of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, the Fool, the Ace of Wands, and Judgment. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Rods. Okay, so let me just look over this spread here. I feel that for some of you, you've been single for some time and you're wanting to revitalize your love life and you're wanting a connection. But for some of you, I feel like you may be just going for physical attraction. There may be someone coming in for you, I want to say beginning to mid-month, where there's a strong physical connection, sexual attraction. And the Hermit card and the Two of Pentacles here, they're kind of saying you're here with the Nine of Pentacles, and the Hermit is shining the light on this Nine of Pentacles, and it's like it's saying, look, you need to really ask yourself what it is you really want in a relationship. You've been reflective on the fact that you're single and that you're wanting a relationship, but you also have to understand that whatever you're putting out there, that's what you're going to attract. Okay? I feel like for some of you, there's going to be multiple suitors coming in, but be careful because they may just be, again, there's a strong sexual attraction here, but you need to pay attention to what it is you truly want in a relationship. Because you may want to get romantically involved and your emotions can get really wrapped up in someone, only to find that, they're kind of leaving you in a predicament where your emotions are like on a roller coaster and there's highs and lows. There's a lot of highs and lows because you based this relationship initially on attraction. So the message here for the singles is be clear about what it is you want. It's okay to, want someone who you find physically attractive. Doesn't mean you have to settle, but also pay attention to other things that are more important than looks, like, how they treat you, their morals, their ethics, what are their hobbies, what are their interests. Because you don't want to begin, I see you beginning a relationship with someone that it's a karmic relationship, honestly. It's if you haven't learned the lesson that you need to learn yet in past relationships, this is going to be another one of those relationships that teaches you of that lesson. For others of you, this is about, again, having multiple suitors and not knowing which one to choose. And because you know that, or because you don't want to make the wrong choice, you're kind of on guard about it. You're kind of on guard. What's interesting is this Nine of Wands is looking at the Hermit. So it's like you're asking yourself, can I do this? Do I want this? You know, trying to really be, you're kind of reflective. Like I said, some of you have been single for some time, and it's because there have been some emotional imbalance going on. Maybe you're healing from a past situation or a past relationship, but you are very much single. And the Hermit card is saying you need to get out there. You know, he's looking at this Nine of Pentacles. You need to get out there. You need to go experience life. Be confident. Strut your stuff, because we have some people coming in here. And I have to be honest with you, I see a lot of sex this month. There is a victory in earning or gaining a relationship. But just be smart, you know what you want. If someone is more physically, you know, if the relationship starts off where it's more physically based, that's your sign that this is what it is. So don't read into it more than what it is, pretty much. And if that's what you want, that's great. But if that's not what you want, you have to be willing to just own it for what it is. And like I said, there's multiple partners coming in, so there may be someone else who has something more to offer you, you know? So just keep your eyes and ears open for that. There's a definite getting over these emotional highs and lows, though, that you've been dealing with. Because there's a rebirth happening after the Two of Pentacles. So it's like where things have been, you know, where you have been emotionally feeling, you know, unstable or ungrounded. By the end of the month, you're going to feel much more confident, much more stable, and revitalized, I want to say. So let me look at this further. I want to look at the Devil card first. Yeah, so I want to say for some of you, there's someone that's going to come around that's offering you a good time, okay? But this person can be someone that's similar to someone that you've dealt with in the past, and wasn't the kind of relationship that turned out well, right? Because there was some kind of deception going on. So just look out for that. I want to look at the Ace of Wands, because this is the card. These two cards are really talking about strong sexual attractions this month and chemistry. Yeah, someone's coming in for you. Again, the Priest card comes up, so this is a single man. This card represents a single individual. There's someone coming in for you that gives you hope in a relationship. And this Journey card is someone traveling to you. And this can also be someone who maybe comes from a different state or a different country. Maybe they're just visiting from out of town. But immediate, strong sexual attraction happening, okay? I want to look at the Nine of Wands. Yeah, see, you're not trusting because you know that this relationship doesn't have a strong foundation, and this person you feel is not being completely honest. And so you're not wanting to make a strong commitment to them. And that's okay, you know. As long as you know where you stand, that's all that matters. Like I said, there's going to be other people coming in this month. So when this person comes in and they're kind of similar to what you've dated in the past, you kind of got to just accept that for what it is. If you want to engage or if you don't want to engage, that's completely your choice. Because there will be others. Now let's look at the couples for the month of December. cards fly out. King of Wands. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands. Passionate relationship here. Ooh, 3 of Swords. 7 of Swords. 8 of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. Page of Cups. 3 of Cups. And the 4 of Pentacles. The bottom of the deck, we have the Devil card. Okay, so like I said, the general message for this month really has been severing ties for you guys. And again, we see that in this couples reading. Just a reminder that these are general readings, so not all messages will apply to your personal situation. But if you are interested in gaining more insight into your situation, you are more than welcome to hit me up for a private reading, and therefore, we can look at your specific circumstances. But in this general reading, we see a couple here who are very passionate. And by passion, I mean, there seems to be a lot of fire between these two. Maybe some bickering, maybe some fighting. I just get like clash, I want to say clashing energy, but they're kind of like at each other, but they're both fired up. Like they believe they're right. This King of Wands, if you're a female and you are dating a male or you're in a partnership with a male, this is a situation where, first of all, we have the Devil. And the Devil here is saying, look, this is not a healthy relationship. It's actually quite toxic. Because this male is not being honest. There's some deception here. Maybe he's offering his love to someone else. Like there's a third party in the mix. Okay? He's being deceptive. And there's heartbreak here for the Queen. The Queen is looking at the 3 of Swords. The King is looking at the 7 of Swords. So the Queen is looking at the heartbreak, and the King is looking at the deception. He's the one being deceptive. She's the one who's heartbroken because of it. And the Queen feels trapped. Mentally trapped. Not sure how to handle this situation. It looks like, in some level, they're not ready to let go of this relationship because they want to work it out. But this King is not being genuine. He's involved with someone else. We have the 3 of Swords and the 3 of Cups here. These two cards together in a spread typically mean third-party interference. And with the Knight of Cups here, it's telling me, and the 4 of Pentacles underneath it, it's kind of telling me he's offering his love to someone else, but he's being very quiet about it. And he's also very selfish because it's like he wants to hold on to both people for his own selfish reasons. The Queen here, she's wanting to hopefully get back to a place romantically where they can start anew, but she's not sure how to get there. She's not sure how to get there, but I don't feel they're going to get there because the Devil card here is saying, look, it's a toxic situation. It's not healthy. And this man is giving into his lust. He's giving into his passions, his desires. Okay? This can also be like a very codependent kind of relationship where it's unhealthy, but neither party wants to leave it. And they need to leave it because, they're just hurting. Well, he's hurting her more than anything. And see, she's intuitive, and she knows this is going on, even though he hasn't voiced it. He hasn't openly said, I'm cheating, but she knows. And she's feeling trapped. She doesn't, maybe, honestly, with the 8 of Swords here, she's not wanting to face it. She's wanting to pretend that it's not even happening. Because she's blindfolded. But, you know, she feels trapped. She's not sure how to unbind herself and move out of this situation, but that's what she honestly needs to do. So let me look at this more in depth here. I want to look at the Devil card first. So we have monogamous, serious relationship, okay? And there's some type of reprieve being offered to this female, but she's emotionally too weak to accept the offer. And that's what it's saying on the Devil card here, because it's like her intuition is warning her, but she doesn't want to listen, and so she's staying trapped and bound in a situation that's not healthy, okay? But she needs to move on. And maybe for some of you, this is like, this may be a couple who are married and there may be children involved. And, you know, so we have the Page of Cups here, which can represent a child. This woman feels stuck in this relationship because she doesn't want to separate and have a situation where, you know, they have a child in common, and it would be difficult and challenging. But she's heartbroken. Let's look at the 3 of Swords. Yeah, so on the 3 of Swords, this male may have reunited with an ex-partner. Or sometimes this reunion card just represents a partnership. So on the 3 of Swords, this is telling me these two came together romantically. And the woman knows intuitively this is happening. Again, we have the Thought card. She's really analyzing this. Is this happening? Did this happen? Who is he with? Is he with her? Those could be some of her thoughts. And she's realizing that this pleasure seeker's card is about stupidity or foolish actions or behaviors. So he's not acting in the best interest of their relationship or their marriage. He's just going out and doing, again, being selfish and doing what's best for him. So the advice here is for the woman to really focus on what's best for her.